Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is September the 27th, 2023, and today the topic is careful what you speak. Happy Wednesday, y'all. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you all had a terrific Tuesday. Mine was just fine. Um, yeah, mine was good overall. I didn't have too much to do. Still kind of working on some tasks behind the scenes. But I did take a moment to do a pop-up episode yesterday. I went live for y'all um, on my Actress Miracle Sims YouTube page and my different platforms on Facebook and whatnot to share with you guys a pop-up unwind experience, y'all. Yes, I did give myself a manicure yesterday and I did it live for y'all to show y'all just how easy it is to use my Color Street nail polishes and everything like that. I ended up doing that yesterday because I thought that I was going to be doing an interview. But lo and behold, there seemed to be some type of miscommunication or whatever, and I had made myself look all decent and whatnot. And so I was like, well, let me just go ahead and just go live and, you know, do that whole thing. And so that's what I ended up doing. And that was nice. Even after that, I ended up continuing my unwind self-care experience by taking me a nice bubble bath. Of course, using my Mom Bomb products and things of that nature. And so yesterday evening ended up being real nice for your girl. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, man. Uh, yeah, it was a nice evening to say the least. So, yeah, I think that's all the significant things to share about yesterday. I'm trying to think. I feel like there was some other stuff going on, but maybe it's not shareable information because it's away from my mind right now. But anyway, so careful what you speak and the style of practice what you preach. You know, y'all know that song. Barry White, I think, right? I did go look up the lyrics since it was in my head this morning as I was thinking about the whole careful what you speak line. Um, I went to go look at the lyrics of practice what you preach, and obviously they was on a whole nother wavelength and whatnot. So I don't know if there was anything to use there spiritually today. Um, but I don't know. Since it came back into my heart and mind, there it is. So when I say careful what you speak, think along those lines. Practice what you preach, which actually the phrase itself does speak volumes. It is a biblical phrase as well. So you guys can go deeper about that if you want to, and looking into the whole practice what you preach side of things. But yeah, careful what you speak. I would say that today that this conversation is inspired by the prayer meditation that I listened to with the Soul Space app. It was obviously addressing this idea of, you know, the things that we speak and how much power that they have and things of that nature. And obviously, you know, the interesting thing. So at some point it was asking me, what's the most influential thing that someone has said to you? And my mind kind of went blank. I mean, I know that people have spoken into my life and things like that. But it was trying to get me to think about the positive things or something positive that someone has said. And like I said, there's quite a few things that eventually came into my heart and mind. But my very first initial thought was like, blank, like, well, how can I answer this question mentally? And then eventually I started to think about, you know, things like my mom told me throughout my life, or, you know, things that people have said about me now in my adult life and things of that nature that are inspiring or encouraging, uplifting and things of that nature. But I mean, you know, on the flip side, you know, I'm sure all of us can think of negative things that have been said about us, um, or said to us, right? That has influenced our life. Um, Even down to our names, y'all. You know, our names are very significant as well, and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of things there and whatnot. I do remember waking up from a dream. I only remember a couple of pieces, and there was a individual that was in my dream. And when I looked up his name is definitely seeming to be coming to fruition in his life, and whatnot. And so it's just very interesting again how much words in general can influence us in our life. And so I was reflecting on that today. I ended up going deeper and thinking about a lot of different other things as well. But ultimately, I got led back to this conversation about careful what you speak. And, this is what I studied and felt led to share this morning. But if I take a moment, like, to share with you guys a little bit more of what the things I was thinking before as I was going through this process this morning. At some point, I really did just take some time to reflect on um, what this looks like in my life. What has taken control over the things that I speak look like. Um, and I would say that again, this whole claiming that this year, proclaiming this year was going to be abundance 2023. I'm not saying it's me, that did these things, but what I'm saying is the Lord put something in me to proclaim over this year that it's going to be abundance 2023, and it has been that and beyond. Like, I would say, and this is coming from my friends and family, that they are seeing overflow. And I'm not saying that it's from me. I'm just saying that I'm seeing the overflow spill over into my friends and family as well as myself and whatnot this year. Like, God has done amazing things this year. There's a lot of great, amazing things in the works that you guys don't even know about still yet for me and whatnot. But y'all know about a lot of the things that God has done for me, or with me, for me, and through me in my life this year. And all I know is last year, probably around this time, I believe that God was putting in my heart and mind that, hey, I need to prepare, for more finances. I need to prepare for, that's a huge thing for me. The finance part. I know that, blessings come beyond the finances, but I'm just trying to be honest with you guys about, again, I tell y'all time and time again, between 2019 and 2023, I was not working. I was not working to the capacity that I was working before, in the years before. You know what I mean? So the thing was, like, between that time, God had just been providing, through, the endeavors and whatnot that He has put in place. And that was very interesting because I know even yesterday when I went live and I was sharing with you guys about, something that one of the ladies at the church said on Sunday was like, "Oh, you got your hands in a lot of different things," and I can see that. I can see that now, and maybe I've always been that way to some extent, but I've been honest with you guys to tell you all that when the pandemic hit, there was only one investment that I still had that I could still work and still like use to provide some type of income on my end. You know what I mean? Like, my husband, was, I guess, seen as essential, and so he was able to continue to work. But the things that I was doing, I was already slowly transitioning out of the things that I was doing. Then I was working on my own endeavors, which is my business, Miracle Plays and whatnot. But obviously, again, when the pandemic hit, I couldn't have dinner shows because nobody was trying to get together. Nobody was trying to gather and group up and stuff like that. And so when I looked around, all I had was miracleofwine.com established. I didn't have anything else. And I did my best to, work that, and I just throw it out there and let people know, hey, I'll do a virtual wine tasting, and stuff like that. And those doors started to open, but eventually, God has established so much in this season since 2019 to where, yes, I am truly, truly thankful for the part-time job at the church. Like, that has taken things to another level, of being able to invest and being able to, keep things going and flowing without like the additional stress or mental stress and things of that nature. However, with that being said, God has also put things in place to where even if, things change with the part-time position, there are a lot of other things that I've been able to establish because of what God has done, because the open doors and to again investing and things of that nature. So and I would say that goes from all, you can see all these examples, but it goes from, the unwind self-care, movement that I've begun or whatever. And then it goes into the books, and then even this platform of GSL and all these different things can bring in something, to where and I'm not depending on that. At the end of the day, my Lord and Savior is Jesus Christ. I'm depending on Him to provide at the end of the day. But I'm just letting y'all know what has been established and whatnot. And I believe that what plays a major part in at least this year is me being able to say, okay, you know what? There's certain words I got to take out of my vocabulary. You know what I mean? Like there's one word that I barely even say anymore. And I used to say it all the time, especially when I was talking about my finances. It would be my way to explain what was happening with my finances. But the Lord has taken that word out of my vocabulary. And ever since then, all I know is, here's part-time position with weekly pay. Here's the other things that have been established that, is bearing fruit. And so I'm glad that that word is no longer in my vocabulary. You know what I mean? And I don't even want to tell y'all what it is. At the end of the day, y'all can go back and listen, and maybe y'all can figure it out or whatever. But regardless, is I guess this is just me just trying to share my testimony about how words have power and everything like that. No, I'm not on the same level as God to say that, oh, my words can create in regards to, because obviously his words can create. So we're not on that same level, but because we are made in his image, what we say does matter. What we say does hold weight. What we say does have power. And so I'm here to encourage all of us today, right, to be careful what we speak. Because a lot of us are speaking negativity over our life, over others' lives, over our situations, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, I know it don't feel good, right? Because sometimes every now and then you might need to just vent, and I get that. You know what I mean? I'm thankful to the individuals that I can call and just express myself and talk to, and not feel judged or not feel any, you know, extra coming from, me being able to share what I truly think and feel. But at the same time, even with that, we still need to be careful about the things that we're saying. Because again, they do have power and they do hold weight, and it, I guess, establishes things spiritually. So I'm about to go deeper with y'all about that. Let me share some verses that stood out to me this morning that hopefully will encourage us and inspire us in this area of careful what we speak. Okay. Proverbs 18:21 says, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Friends, I mean, I feel like we make light of this. We make light of this verse, but I think we know this deep down. We felt different things at times. Like when someone says something negative over you or your life, that hits you to the core. You know what I mean? Like that hits you deep within into your soul. It doesn't just stay on the surface or anything like that. It hits you all the way in. I know that majority of us, if not all of us, have felt that at one point or another. I share with you guys, this is coming to my mind, so I'm going to tell it. I share with you guys about my interaction with that atheist gentleman last year. And everything was cool. You know what I mean? Prior to, when we started texting or whatever, everything was cool. Our conversation was cool. Everything was cordial. I believe that we were able to agree to disagree about a lot of things. But then it got to the point where he took things to another level. I guess he had revealed that he was lying, or that's what he was telling me. I have no clue what the truth is at this point, but I'm just telling y'all what happened on my end. He had revealed to me that he was lying, and the next thing I know, he started to, through his messages, through his words that he typed to me, spouting out all kinds of negative things about me personally. You know what I mean? And my thing is, sir, I've never presented none of this stuff that you saying about me. You know what I mean? And then even tried to use my past against me, the past that I showed so boldly and, transparently share on this platform of GSL just about every day, if not every day, what I've clearly written about in my book and whatnot that I do not shy away from or hide from. He tried to throw those things back at me like fiery darts, y'all. And those things hit. Like as I was reading those things, it pierced and hit and hurt. It did. And the thing is, I believe, and I'm sharing all of this to say that at the end of the day, we've all have felt that, and we know that words have power, but then we continue to do it. We continue to do it to one another. We continue to, say things over ourselves and others and in our situations. And then we're confused as to why our situations and our interactions with others and all these things are playing out. Now, of course, there's always going to be good and bad, good and evil, ups and downs, all of that, because we're in this fallen world. You know what I mean? So it's, of course, there's always going to be this. However, how we handle it, right? What we say and things like that. Again, all of those things matter. The verse is saying death and life are in the power of the tongue. So are you going to speak life over your life, or are you going to speak death over your life? Are you going to speak life over your relationships, or are you going to speak death over your relationships? Put that in with any category in life and ask yourself, what are you going to do? Because it doesn't always feel good to turn a cheek. You know what I mean? It don't always feel good to hold your tongue when you're right, and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, I can sit here and tell y'all today, the more that I have done this in my life, the more peace I have now. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of things that I've been through where I could have went off. You know what I mean? I could have taken the vengeance or whatnot in my own hands and said what I had to say and whatever. But when I let God fight my battles, here I am thriving, in the pandemic. And this is just an example. I'm not sitting here talking about the pandemic itself, but I'm talking about the pandemic of life when it comes to like down seasons. You know what I mean? We all gonna have some ups and downs, like I said, and I've been through some down seasons, but at the same time, even in my down seasons, I'm winning. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be like, I'm boasting in the Lord right here. Yeah. I'm boasting in the Lord that at the end of the day, again, he will give you peace in your down moments. Like, yeah, I look back at things that I deem to be the debacles in my life, the things in my life that have been just like, why did I go through this? Like when I was going through them, they felt low, they felt bad, I'm like asking the Lord, like, this is just messed up. Like, why am I going through this stuff? This stuff is crazy. But these things have led to the beautiful things I have in my life today. I'm seeing things flourish from those things today, where it's like, and all I can say that I did is humbled myself in the moments that I could have went off, went ham, went crazy, however you want to say, with the moments where I could have just spouted out whatever I wanted to say and took things in my own hands. And when I let those things play out, and they've all worked in my favor, all of them, all of the negative things. And that's the thing I'm saying. I'm just saying, submit yourself to the Lord. At the end of the day, he's telling us to hold our tongues, be careful what we speak. And I mean, I don't know, that's just one verse, but I ain't know the Lord was gonna say that much through me with just that. But let me go ahead and share another verse, y'all. Psalms 19:14. It says, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. At the end of the day, what we say needs to be acceptable in God's sight. Again, I know it's not the easiest thing to do. Sometimes you just want to cuss somebody out, right? Sometimes you just want to go off, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, like I asked you guys before, I guess here's another question to ask yourself. You ask yourself about, are you going to speak death and life? Then now ask yourself again, are the words that I'm saying acceptable to the Lord? Again, because it's all going back to, again, the death and life. I'm trying to think of some examples here, but I don't too much, you know what I mean? Like, how could I say this? I don't know if I have any personal examples, but I definitely have like I've observed some different people. And then, and don't get me wrong, like God could use any type of personality, right? So I'm not saying anything about personalities. I'm just saying about speech, right? The things we're saying, the words we're saying. Um, Again, is it pleasing to the Lord for me to cuss somebody out? Or is it pleasing for me to the Lord for me to hold my tongue? I think the Bible's clear about that. You know what I mean? Like it's clear about which is wise, you know. Is which one is going to be pleasing to the Lord at the end of the day. Just so that's an example. I guess that's good enough. Y'all can reflect on that. Let that marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. Here's another verse, Ephesians 4:29. It says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." At the end of the day, again, I mean, I am just one human. You know what I'm saying? I am not perfect by any means, or anything like that. The only thing I can say is that, I've tried my best to, respect people in their positions. I've tried my best to, do unto others as I would have them do it to me. Does that always come back to me from that person? No, but it comes back to me throughout my life, I will say, so that's sometimes how it is. Sometimes you're paying it forward. You may never get the respect or the love or the confirmation or whatever it is from the individuals that you're giving grace to. But at the end of the day, if you want to receive grace from the Lord, that's the one that counts more so than anything. Receiving grace from the Lord should make you extend grace to your neighbor, regardless of what they do. And I know that's hard. I know that's not the easiest thing, because we want to feel what we feel and things like that. We want justice and things like that. But at the end of the day, God gave us grace instead of justice, because justice to him would mean that we all would perish. And so, again, I don't know if we understand the weight of that, and we may never understand it until we, I guess, leave earth and things of that nature. But just saying, it's saying here again, not to let corrupting talk come out of your mouth, and you should only be saying things that's going to build. I mean, again, that means I guess a lot of us would be way more quiet if we lived accordingly, right? There wouldn't be much said if everybody truly lived like this, right? We would just not say we'd be mute, but I mean, if we only spoke when to build, I mean, what would that even look like? Who knows? But now I'm just telling y'all what the Bible is saying. So, I mean, we could all practice, right? Practice a little bit more to do this, because we could all get better with it. But anywho, James 1:26, it says, "If anyone thinks he is righteous and religious, and does not bridle his tongue, but deceive his heart, this person's religion is worthless." Look, that might be pulp this morning. Y'all might didn't want to hear that. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's that's what it say. You could think you could be, religious all day long, but then at the end of the day, if you're not able to maintain some self-control and bridle your tongue, and hold your tongue and all that type of stuff, it says this person's religion is worthless. And I don't know how y'all feel about that, but y'all can let all these things marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. You guys can go deeper about all of this. Check out gotquestions.org. They have an article that I put in the Go Deeper section for you guys to peruse. And it is called, just give me a second so I can put gotquestions.org up there. Okay. It is called, "What Does the Bible Say About the Power of Words?" Again, I mean, the Bible says a lot about it. You guys can go deeper with all of that. Check out these verses and whatnot that are there. But yeah, like I said, that's the juice today, y'all. That's the juice. Let us be careful what we speak. All right. The Bible verse of today is Psalm 30:5. It says, "For his anger endureth but a moment, in his favor." I don't know. Y'all can go confirm that word, but in his something is life and And weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. You guys can confirm that word that's in the middle there that I jumbled, but that is the Bible verse of today. I hope that you guys are encouraged and inspired to hold your tongue just a little bit longer. Let the Lord fight your battles, y'all. And like I said, that's the juice. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. There you go. Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice. I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Today is going to be a long day, I believe, because NJ has a class. And then after that, I was asked to assist with getting some things together for Sunday, because Sunday at Mountain West is going to be one more day, which is a day that I guess they dedicate to like inviting someone to church. We also going to be starting a new series called At the Movies on Sunday. So throughout the month of October, I believe we'll be doing an At the Movies series. So they're going to be getting a lot of stuff together in theme. It's just very interesting being behind the scenes. And I knew that I was going to eventually be behind the scenes. I would be at church as a regular person and whatnot. And I would be sitting there and I would be thinking about the things that's going on behind the scenes that I didn't know about. I was like, okay, I know there has to be somebody on computers. So, you know what I mean? I was like, I know there has to be this or that going on. And I guess the Lord was already just letting me know that, yeah, you about to be part of this thing. So God be the glory, man, for that. But yeah, so new series starting at Mountain West. I don't know if you guys are in the area, but if you want to go to mwchurch.com, that's the church that I go to and that I'm part of, and that I'm, I guess, working with and everything like that. Yeah. So that's something going on. So basically, if I go help out with that, NJ's going to take his class. I'm going to go help out with that. I might as well stay there at the church because it's Wednesday, and y'all know that in the season they got me doing childcare on Wednesdays now, and so yeah, it's gonna be a long day, but I'm excited. We're gonna see what the Lord do, and yeah, that's what my day's supposed to look like. But I'll let y'all know tomorrow if the Lord's will what all happens. But yeah, thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. Y'all have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.